News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. Former President Bill Clinton has told members of Congress he, quote, did nothing wrong in his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and saw no signs of Epstein's sexual abuse. Before the hearing began, Chairman of the House Oversight Committee James Comer says he has more questions for the former president.
With respect to pictures and correspondence between Epstein, Maxwell, and Bill Clinton, these are all questions that we're going to ask today.
Today's closed-door deposition in Chappaqua, New York, marks the first time a former president has been compelled to testify to Congress. It does come a day after former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton sat with lawmakers for her own deposition. Republicans want to press Bill Clinton on a well-documented relationship with Epstein and Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. OpenAI and Amazon have unveiled a strategic partnership, including a $50 billion investment by Amazon into OpenAI. OpenAI has raised $110 billion in a deal that values the startup at $730 billion, representing the ChatGPT maker's largest funding round to date. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman tells CNBC Amazon brings a lot to the table.
Amazon can deliver so much more to us in terms of new demand and new opportunities in the market that there will be huge incremental revenue here into the whole ecosystem.
Altman also said the U.S. should not threaten AI firms with the Defense Production Act. Now, that's a reference to the growing feud between the Pentagon and Anthropic. Anthropic rejected the Pentagon's latest offer to use its AI model for mass surveillance and fully autonomous weapons ahead of a deadline today that could put the company at risk of losing its government contracts. Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, Emil Michael, who helps drive the Pentagon's AI strategy, says Anthropic's CEO is putting national security at risk.
Without any notice, they published an article where we thought we were getting close, saying that they were breaking off talks well before the deadline, which is generally not good partner-oriented practice, if you will.
Defense Undersecretary Emil Michael on Bloomberg TV. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will make a quick trip to Israel early next week as tensions between the U.S. and Iran soar amid a massive buildup of U.S. forces in the Middle East. The State Department released a statement saying Rubio would visit Israel on Monday and Tuesday. The announcement comes just hours after the U.S. began to evacuate non-essential personnel and family members from the embassy in Israel. The Producer Price Index came in hotter than anticipated. Bloomberg's Michael McKee.
The PPI for final demand up 0.5%, the same as in December. The forecast was for a 0.3 rise. Take out food and energy, and we're up 0.8 after 0.7 last month. And take out trade to that, and you're up 0.3. That one's down just a little bit.
Bloomberg's Michael McKee. So stocks are falling amid a tech slide, that elevated inflation data, and geopolitical risks as Wall Street closes out a turbulent February. We check markets for you all day long here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 down 0.5%, NASDAQ down about 0.75%, and the Dow is down a little more than 1%. The 10-year Treasury yield at 3.97%, the 2-year yield at 3.4%. Checking Bitcoin now, it is down 2.75%, around $65,000. NASA is canceling a multi-billion-dollar upgrade to the SLS rocket and adding a test flight closer to Earth to the Artemis mission. The Artemis 3 mission is now scheduled for 2027. It will launch a crew aboard Lockheed Martin's Orion capsule, which will dock with commercially supplied landers in Earth orbit. NASA says the goal is to fly more often to counteract the slow development pace of the SLS rocket and meet the 2028 deadline for a lunar touchdown. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.